All right. So you got that out of your system. Now we'll talk about different subjects. So you can recharge for your second ramble, which will happen in a little bit.
I need to rest. I got to rest now.
All right. Well, we're going to rest by talking about an event that I'm going to be honest with you, I was not super intrigued in because I knew what the result was going to be when they first announced it. The NBA held their FIBA Championship, if you will, and the United States won it in absolutely dominating fashion. They won by an average of 33 points per game, and in the final game they defeated Serbia 129-92 to win the gold medal. I don't know about you, Mike, but for me, congratulations, Team USA, first of all. Congratulations. They dominated throughout. They obviously proved that they're the best. However, were you interested in this event? Did you watch any game from start to finish?
I mean, I'm biased. I love Coach K, Kyrie Irving, former Duke Blue Devil, Mason Plumlee made the team, former Duke Blue Devil. So I watched some games to see how my boys were doing, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch one from start to finish. I would, however, have watched a little more if Kevin Durant played, or I'm going to watch more in the 2 years with the 2016 Olympics when, LeBron James plays and Kevin Durant plays and Carmelo.
Yes, I agree. I'll watch more of that, yes.
I think that's why a lot of people weren't watching it because although it was NBA guys, you got guys like Chandler Parsons making the team, and Chandler Parsons is pretty good, but he shouldn't.
He's not a star.
He's not a star. DeMar DeRozan isn't a star. Mason Plumlee, although pretty good, isn't a star. Kyrie can make the team. I think I was also watching it to see how Derrick Rose was doing because if anybody really benefited from this, it was Derrick Rose. I think people needed to see Derrick Rose play a couple back-to-back games and see him drive to the basket, see him control the ball, control an offense. And I think, if anything, it helped his confidence a little bit that now when it comes to the preseason and then the start of the year, he's not really going to have too many limitations because he knows already that his knee can take it. So I think if anybody really benefited, obviously the young guys like Mason Plumlee, I think Kyrie, still very young, benefited. But I think Derrick Rose really benefited, and everybody around the NBA saw how Derrick Rose is going to be now.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose only averaged 17 minutes a game and only averaged 4.8 points per game. So he didn't. Granted, he played, and that's good. He got extra time in getting in the rhythm of basketball again. But he didn't play that often. So I don't know how much you could take from how well he's going to play when he obviously played against inferior competition and didn't play for a lot of minutes.
Yeah, but I still think that just the explosiveness that he showed and a lot of dunks that he had, primarily the points were going to the rack and dunking basketball. And I think just the fact that his lift, I'm just talking about his knee, just the lift that he's had, it doesn't look like he is limping or he's wincing at all. So I think they limited him. I think Tom Thibodeau, who's on the staff, who is his coach with the Chicago Bulls, probably had a say in it. I don't think that he wanted him to play 40 minutes a night. And frankly, with the USA basketball team, you don't need to because you just have other stars that could play that role. So, but yeah, I still believe that it's a great start for Derrick Rose, and I still think that he benefited from being on the squad.
Yeah, I think he benefited himself. I'm not completely sold, I guess, as much as you are in terms of the explosiveness. I want to see him get banged around a little bit by better competition. But all signs going forward, if you were to take anything out of it, he did look healthy. So that's good up for the upcoming NBA season. And your boy Kyrie Irving took home MVP.
I love me Irving. He is so good. He is so good. And I always rooted for Kyrie and Cleveland just because Kyrie's on here. I really excited to see how Kyrie's going to do with LeBron on the squad now.
Now, I want to ask you this, because I had my answer to this question. Would you have been more interested if, say, high-profile college basketball players went and competed for Team USA instead of NBA stars?
Well, that's obviously going to be the argument, and I honestly think that's the future. I think that I don't know how, early it's going to be or how long in the future is it going to take, but I think that's where we're going to go. I think that they see USA just dominating everybody, and I don't think necessarily everyone else really likes it. So, and obviously the injuries to Paul George, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants that injury, and I think that kind of backed off and made everyone hesitant to come out and play and represent U.S. because you're not getting paid. I think players like to come. They like representing the country. I think Coach K has a lot to do with people that want to come to play for him just for time. But I think that, I like seeing it just because I like seeing the best players in the world working together on a team. But I would also really like to see college players playing in it as well. I think bringing back the amateurism of the Olympic Games, at least in the basketball sense, at least for in the USA, is very intriguing to see. But I also like seeing, LeBron, Melo, Kevin Durant, Kevin Love, kind of playing together and kind of how they gel. So, I mean, I see both sides of it, but I think as we go forward, I think that's where we're going to go to is college guys coming back and representing the U.S.
Yeah, for me, you can't have a middle ground like they had in the championship. You either got to have all the stars. You got to have the LeBron, Durant, Carmelos, Chris Paul, all of them, or you go to college. Because this is where I lost it. Because I'm sorry, Kenneth Faried is not going to drive me to watch a basketball game. Neither is your boy Miles Plumlee. The only player on that roster.
Get it right. It's Mason.
Mason Plumlee. I'm sorry.
Miles on the Suns. Mason's on the Nets.
I'm sorry. But they're not going to drive me to go to a game and watch. They're not superstars. I would watch college players because, one, the games would be competitive. Two, it's players who are up and coming and they're trying to prove themselves. They don't already have a buck in their pocket. And I think that they would use that as a way to improve for the draft, and they'd be playing for more, I don't want to say more than just their country or something like that, but I think they'd be playing with more personal investment than NBA players. That's not saying anything about NBA players, not taking it personally, playing for their country, stuff like that, because I know that they do. But for me, you've either got to go to the extreme, you got to have all the superstars, or you got to have none, you got to go with the college players. I don't like the in-between.
Well, yeah, and I think that you don't get an in-between in the Olympics. I think you get an in-between with the World Cup because people who are not under contract, like Kevin Love, a big reason why he didn't play is because he didn't know where he was playing when this was going on. And also you get fatigue. Look at Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant just flat out just stopped. He just said he was done because he was fatigued. LeBron, there was between not knowing where he was going to go, and I think fatigue also sets in. These guys play non-stop, so it's a lot of effort and a lot of wear and tear on your body where you can use those couple months just to rest up and get ready for the next season. So, I mean, I see it both ways. I still think there's some players in the NBA that love representing their country, and when it comes to Olympic time, I still believe that all of the best players are still going to play. Like, that's not going to change. But I think that, like I said, I think come 2020 Olympic time, maybe 2024, let's see who they bring in, because I think that, especially with this Paul George injury, I think NBA teams are going to get more and more worried that their stars are coming out there and playing and risking their bodies every night. And I think that with that fear, they're going to try to kind of gear towards the college players going out to play. But I also will say this. You have these college kids playing now. If you get college guys playing, they're going to be going up against 30-year-old guys who are going to be beating up on them. So, you're going to have top recruits who aren't fully grown yet going up against fully grown men, and they can get hurt. Top recruits can get hurt. So you're not going to get rid of the injury scare, because no matter what, there's always an opportunity to get injured. It's a professional sport. Any sport you can get injured. So it almost is worse if 22-year-olds go out there and risk their bodies against full-grown men from Serbia or from Spain or from all these other countries. So I see both sides.
Listen, I agree. Injury can happen to anyone, but for me, I like watching competitive content, and that's the reason I didn't really tune into this. I watched the highlights of the games, but I knew that the USA was going to come out with at least a 20-point victory every time, and that drove me away from it. College players, granted, we might lose a few games, you might not even win, but the games would be competitive. And I'm sorry, but I like competitive games, even if it's teams I'm not interested in. I like watching competitive games no matter what the sport, no matter what's happening. Like this NFL game on TV, I'm not even paying attention to it because it's not competitive and it's awful. So I like competition. I like close games. I like when the teams are fairly even. And for me, the FIBA Championship just showed how much better the USA is with their second tier of NBA stars, and they still dominated the world the way that they did.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you that, I mean, they're blowouts every week. I mean, it really was. There wasn't really a close game, and I do agree with you. So, I mean, we'll kind of see what happens. I think people, like I said, people are starting to see that, you know what, maybe we should have these amateurs come out and play. But I think, 2016, that's not going to change. So let's see what happens in the next Olympics after that.
All right. Well, let's do that. Let's wait, 2 more years for the Olympics, and then